I get this question all the time, and I want to give you a very straightforward answer. You do not need to know how to read music to be a successful musician or a professional musician, or really for any particular reason. Let's unpack this a little bit, because here's the thing. I actually love reading music. I think reading music is super powerful and one of the most underrated abilities in general. To be able to just pick up a book and sight read something like that is just awesome. And if you've watched any of my lives, you know how magical it really is. It is just, again, that's probably the best word for it. It's just magic. I'm Robert Monroe. I've been playing piano for like 28 years, and I started with reading music, as people used to do all the time. And now I would say it's a little more common to either be getting your information from YouTube or you're learning by ear. But let's talk about why I say it's not necessary. And then let's actually get into some of the reasons why you may still want to learn how to read, even though, again, I'm saying you don't have to. So first of all, let's break down why I'm saying you don't actually have to read. The first is the actual evidence. If I was going to do a poll of all the popular musicians I know who make money day in, day out doing music, it would be like 65 to 70% do not know how to read music well. Like, of course they know, like you put a note in front of them, they can read it to some extent, but it's not their primary mode of being able to access music. It's not even like something that they would even be that comfortable on a gig doing. So what's going on here? Why are there so many musicians that don't even know how to read, right? It's like being illiterate. It would be like being a doctor and not knowing how to read books, right? No, because most of the music that people play professionally is pop music. And the main access point is not actually reading, it's learning by ear. If you were going to learn the next Sabrina Carpenter song to play at a wedding or for a party, it would be way easier to just pull up the recording and learn it by ear than to find somebody's transcription and actually be more accurate, because the person doing the transcription is just another random person on the internet just like you. And so you're closer to the source by learning it by ear. And that really is what it comes down to. If you actually look at the way most musicians make money and most musicians engage with the world, it's in places that involve learning by ear. And that's probably what's involved this big change and move away from sheet music. That would be point number one. The second is you don't really even need sheet music to understand your instrument really well. Honestly, a lot of ear training involves a heavy amount of theory to do it well. And so you start to learn theory in that way. And in many ways, it becomes a much more feel-oriented, a much more like your eyes are not on a page, so now you're able to look at the rest of the group. So there are a lot of benefits to not being chained down to a page. This is where I pivot though. And I go, here's some reasons why it would actually be good to learn how to read, even though it's not necessary. The first that I'm going to tell you is it is still to this day a phenomenal access point and way to learn music. It's very measured. If you want to learn music and have steady progress, I can't think of a better way than sheet music. It's going to be steadier than ear training. It's going to be steadier than even doing YouTube tutorials, because you can just set a progress path that's just little by little by little. That's why I think to this day, reading music is the normal academic way of learning. Another big benefit of reading is it is the best way still to this day to access certain genres. Classical music, a bit of jazz, not as much, but jazz transcriptions, that sort of thing. Doing anime themes and video game music. Those cultures are still very much in reading music, sheet music world. A third point is composing and understanding the fundamentals of music. There is still no better tool than sheet music, because I can just look at it and I can see how it's structured in a way that is much, much harder by ear. What's my conclusion after all of this? I'm going to just go back to the beginning of the video and reiterate what I said at the beginning. It's not clickbait. It's not rage bait. It is true. You do not need to know to read to be a professional musician or a musician, period. But I will say, the most successful, the top of the top of the top, they tend to pursue all avenues of music. They know multiple instruments. They know how to read. They know how to play by ear. They just love everything about it. And that would be my appeal to you. If you truly love music, we all hit a point of diminishing returns no matter which way we learn. And so expanding your horizons, if you're an ear player, doing a little bit of reading, is going to help you break through some of those hurdles. So I would highly recommend learning to read music, even if it's not your cup of tea or your first choice. I'm Robert Monroe. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. It all super helps. And until next time, maybe pick up a book and learn how to read.